let's make some homemade ketchup. This recipe is a canning recipe, but you don't have to do the canning process. Here's the recipe card so you can get screenshots. I will share the canning process in the next video, so a part 2 if you will. This is just going to be the recipe for the ketchup itself. You're going to need 5 pounds of tomatoes, and I always take the cores out, any bad spots, and some of the seeds just so it's not so watery. I do that before I weigh it. Also, it doesn't have to be perfect, but approximately 5 pounds is going to get you 2 pints or 4 half pints if you are canning. So it's also not a very big recipe, just so you know. As you are coring and taking the seeds out of the tomatoes, you can just rough chop them. I realized my pot was too small, so I had to move it over. The recipe only calls for 1 onion, but I did decide to do 3 because they were kind of small. Again, these just need to be rough chopped. You'll add that to the tomatoes as well, and then some garlic. I did what I had left, which was about 5 cloves, just peeled and then again roughly chopped. All of that goes into a pan together. You can kind of mix it around, and you're going to bring it to a simmer. You'll see that it starts to soften the tomatoes, and then once it really gets going, it like really kind of softens them and boils them down. Basically, simmer for 1 hour, and then you're going to drain it. I always take a spoon and try to push as much liquid out as I possibly can, and then it's going into a food processor or a blender so it can be pureed. You can also use an immersion blender for this. Then you need to put it through a fine strainer. A mesh strainer also works for this. That's what I used to use before I got this. And you want to push it through the sides so that the fine liquid basically comes out the side and the pulp stays inside. This is going to give your ketchup a nice smooth consistency. Then the rest of the ingredients get added: sugar, vinegar, spices. I will say I go heavy on the smoked paprika and light on the cloves. Stir that all together, bring it to a simmer, and simmer for 2 to 3 hours until it's the consistency you want. You want to work as much liquid out of it as you can. This is what you're left with. If you want to can it, go to part 2. Otherwise, cool and put in the fridge, and you have ketchup.